like Bryce Kaiser. So Bryce Kaiser is now a DL in Peoria. Jason Perch is a great agent in Northern Colorado. So we were all playing and we got to a par three and we're, Joe whips out, some money and he goes closest to the pin. And I was like, come on, buddies, who won? Who won closest to the pin?
Well, I don't think you can tell the story if you didn't win.
I know, of course. I'm not saying that I just performed when the pressure was on.
No matter.
Anyway. All right, share some success from last week for you guys. What were some wins?
Got a lot of quotes in. That was good for me.
Good.
I probably had 15 to 20 between auto and home. So
Nice.
still not a ton. A lot more, but that was a good step in the right direction for me. Is that's new business quotes where I've been struggling. So it felt really good to be able to get those in out to those clients and now kind of working with what we have out there. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that was probably a success for me.
So Jake, where'd they come from? Where'd they originate from?
So a few of them were friends and family, and then some others were actually people that I had kind of connected with throughout both the golf course and I think I mentioned to you, Christine, I go that 45 every day, and there's quite a few people that I've met there, and just talk to them, and of course, put in their ear, hey, if you ever want a second opinion or want to see if I can save you some money, got followed up finally, and so it was nice to be able to use that as my advantage, and we'll see if they end up switching. They can't get away from me now, so
Yeah.
I kind of like it, but yeah.
Love it. Love it. And those are, Jake, those are organic, they take time, right? Building those relationships. And that's when we talk about the marketing strategies of how to get business, how to get opportunity. It's developing those relationships. It's asking for the referrals. I mean, it's all those networking. I mean, that's what takes time along with all the other ways that you're trying to get business, whether, part of those, sometimes it's by leads, those things where they're all your diversification, diversifying your opportunity. So I love to hear that. I love to hear that. Who else? That's from last week.
Closed that farm quote finally. Took a long time. It took 3.5 weeks to do. It wasn't a huge farm, but that process takes longer. They don't move as fast. But that was the first farm one. I think it's only about $4,000, $3,000 worth of premium, but closed a few of the houses. So really, it was just kind of a closed week where things that were in the pipeline already finally closed. So I think I'm at 16 fifths for the month, and the other 4 should land, but I don't know. And then I have a couple other ones that I'm working on for just home. And it looks like I had a follow-up from someone I quoted a couple months ago that said their comment was, when they cancel me, I'll call you back, kind of thing, because we weren't as competitive, but they called back this weekend, so we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
So have you had a chance to go in and look at your month to date?
Oh, yeah, every day.
So let's just announce it here amongst your friends. Your tier A for the month. Congrats.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I check it every day. Like
the
more
more
than
you're gonna take some of my money.
I took most of the money, it sounds like. Yeah, we remember last month too, right?
Hey, when you step on the course on Thursday,
Okay.
I'll have some, give it to you ahead of time.
Just want to get you part of the rears with me. Yeah.
I'll take that for miles on the course.
Yeah, but I'll give it to him.
You have one too, Skylar. So, no, those are what. So I love to you'll see on Friday. Like I love to celebrate. I love to recognize, all those things. On this thing, but as far as tiers, and it's so variable month to month. So I'm just keeping that kind of under the radar, and hey, here you go. as far as everyone else can be like, so you're gonna pay me for my production too? You know,
Yeah.
you guys are discussing. Yeah, Jake's like, where's mine? Huh? Where's mine?
That's all right.
Jimmy, how's it going?
It's good. Oops, I'm unmuted. Let's see. Sorry, I got multiple screens trying to put out fires this Monday morning. Last week was good. It was got some good leads for some new part-time assistant and just reaching out to my warm network, and she's like, I know somebody. So we're like trying to coordinate a time and seeing if they can actually be a good fit for what I need. I learned a lot through my last assistant. So living and learning.
Very good. No, that's always, you're looking at your team structure and looking at what your need is and, building that out, take stuff off your plate. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about that on Friday too. It's that how do you have good culture on your team? Just so you guys know, on Friday, like it is, these are the things, when I get together with my district just twice a year, these are the things I stress out about as a leader, right? I want to make sure you guys find a huge amount of value in coming and spending 4 hours in your day, in those meetings. So I'm hoping that the approach that I take on Friday will work out to everyone's benefit, and I'm hoping it will. But it's a lot of stuff like that, Jimmy, where it's just organic conversation around, building that good culture. It affects retention on your team. All of those things. So you as a business owner, that is really what I'm going to be hitting hard on Friday. Is you as a business owner, and and really just talking amongst ourselves with the whole group. Like we have 25 agents coming, so that's huge. It's a good room. Lots of tenure and lots of good success over the years from people in that room. So anyway, not a lot of speakers, but a lot of conversation happening on Friday. So Skylar, what about you? How was last week for you?
Last week was better. I mean, the month in general hasn't been a success for me, but last week I got a couple life policies, which was nice. So I should have 2 juvenile that are they're about 150,000 more policies that should pay out. And then I got a boatload of referrals from a commercial client and went into Timber Mountain construction event with the gal there and talked to the guy, and I got his full binders. They're paying about $70,000 in premium on commercial, so hopefully I can get that when he's got like 12 vehicles.
I just had kind of a good week last week. Like seriously, you sent me
fast too.
seriously, you sent me. So I get this text on my phone, and it's 2 pictures of what you describe it, Skylar, of what you sent me.
Well, I don't know if I could. I don't know if it pops in here. Blurry. I think it's 16 businesses, and these are like the actual owner's phone numbers, which is nice. So I'm not getting gatekeeping by gatekeep by receptionists. And then I have another. So I have 22 of those, and then he gave me 3 COIs. So that's loan officers and real estate agents, which is nice. So definitely was kind of down half the month off because I felt like I was sucking, kind of starting over. It felt like so when I actually have some work to do and some phone calls to make it feel. I mean, last week was a good week for me mentally, not so much financially yet, but it'll just transition over.
Yeah. So this was just so everyone knows, and this is, I might call out on you on Friday to talk about this when we get to that, the referrals. It's not forgetting to talk about that, but how did it originate, Skylar?
Well, I don't want to talk about the client that it was because that brings up another sensitive topic on the $42,000 premium that I missed out on, which had him signed and been canceled. But was that client we met, and I was like, hey, I missed out on. I saved you money, but we didn't go that route. So at least thing you can do for me is give me some people. You know, he's like, we'll just sit down and have a beer, go through my contacts, and we'll just get everybody that I know. So yeah, it worked out that way. It was nice.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Oh, and then the life policies that I got was while we're sitting there having a beer, the bartender's like, do you sell life insurance? And I'm like, yeah, I do life as well. And she's like, I want to take out some life insurance on myself, my husband, and my kids. So started with the kids first, just so we can, those seem to be pretty easy just to get those done and locked up. And then I'll get into the husband and the wife for actually meeting on Friday to get their policies uploaded. Trying to hit All-Star. So if I can get a couple of them, get there.
Love it. Love it. That's great. And those are, Skylar, those are the more, it's like the more you talk about it, you're sitting there, I mean, here's the bartender overhearing what you're saying and saying, oh my gosh, because you were talking about it, I need that,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, and also not only just the premium that comes with it, but you are working towards your 12 and a rolling 12, getting that box checked, and it's just consistency through those. So
yeah.
I just love that. It's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so because I'm in Klamath today, and I need to make sure I get to my next appointment by 10. Like I look at my calendar, I'm like, why did I book at 10 o'clock, right? But butting up to this is probably because of my schedule. Right? Trying to squeeze everybody in when I'm traveling it's a puzzle. It's a complete puzzle. So anyway, I know I'm meeting with Skylar today. Skylar, we're gonna have to shorten. I'm piggybacking you and Andrew, 45 minutes apiece.
Okay.
I have an awesome interview today with a new candidate. So I'm excited about that. But as far as anything else, I don't have anything on the agenda this morning. I think it was more of sharing success. And I won't give away any of my stuff I'm going to talk about on Friday. Like, got it all on there. What do you guys need? Anything on your end that you need this morning that would help this week for you?
I just have that. Like when I called you, we'll talk about that. We can talk about that during our meeting. But that client that I had, and a couple other things. But
yeah,
make it quick.
I had to step away as the client came, walked in my door at the beginning. But what did we decide who's playing with who this week?
So I said I gave the list to Debbie because she had to give it to the pro, and I can't remember who I put with you. Of course, I was probably trying to be strategic because we have Rusty Mentis is golfing. Some other agents that I would love for you guys to get exposure to. So I don't know who I put with you, but you can golf with whoever. Like I'm sure you can switch and do all that. So yeah. Jimmy, anything on your end that I can help with?
No, I'm just kind of going through the motions, trying to figure out all these lovely farm policies, man. And
Oh, Jimmy.
well,
Farm, are you?
no, well, this guy had a review, and I did last week, and he was trying to lower his premium and going through this. So I reached out to Monica to try to handle that, as opposed to me trying to do it, because that thing is so outdated. Yeah, it's but he just followed up. I was like, oh, it's in the works. So I'm just letting him know that I just have another team member helping me out with that, just because that blue zone is like, I can't believe how, it's just very outdated. And I'm like, whoa, I remember this back in high school.
Things that we keep bringing up on our end as far as reassignments go with households. So all of you are assigned book of business. And when you talk about being farm certified and all of that, which we have a huge, I'm going to go through the list on Friday of who's farm certified and all that great stuff. But it's specifically states in there in the certification that you will, if you are not farm certified, you will not be assigned any households that have farms. So I sit up here on my end and I'm like, well, it's not true.
Yeah.
Because there are assignments in all of your books probably that have farm attached to it. And I don't think any of you are farm certified. So how's that work? You know, because it puts you in a position, Jimmy, just what you experienced where you're like, wait a minute, I don't know anything about farm. And
Yeah.
I assigned a farm client. And back in the day, I remember when I was an agent, like they specifically would not, like if you had assigned farm, you could go to farm school. Like I was assigned 2 farms and I'm like, I don't know anything about farms. I live in Las Vegas, you know, like what? And I had to go to farm school because I didn't want to give them up. They were good premium, but, there definitely is a disconnect.
They're not removing those, are they?
No,
So-
no, I mean, not that I know of, no, they're not going in there and saying, okay, you can't have that, I'm reassigning it. It comes from the very beginning of how to assign this farm to an agent that is not farm certified. You know, especially with books of business in Oregon, you're gonna have farms sprinkled in there for sure. So if that's your, hey, we can't control that, we're just gonna dump these on these brand new agents. All right, that's not, we need to do something different with that.
Hey, Jimmy.
So-
I 100% second that. Sorry, Miles, go ahead.
No, you're good. The person that's helping you is in another office.
Yeah, it's in another office, but I'm debating like if it's just better to like just hand it over to them as opposed to me trying to do it, Christine, even though it's like I'm the agent, but it's like there's a lot of questions that I have no clue about, and it's just like it's over my head, and I don't want to pretend like fake it till you make it type deal.
I was saying you could call Stephen Nguyen, who's the underwriter for farm on the West Coast. And in the mornings, he doesn't have they're all on the lines. He
Okay.
walks through an hour and a half worth of at least training and going through blue zones, step by step,
Oh.
building quotes. Very valuable. So,
What was his last name?
boy,
NGU.
like,
In
yeah, NGUY.
And or something like
Yeah.
that.
okay.
I'll send you his name, but he
Oh,
loves training.
Oof.
I'm not saying you're gonna learn about farm necessarily, but you will just through the
Yeah.
quotes.
well, and I haven't done this in shoot since I first came on. I did one policy, and that was actually it was Monica that did it for me, which was another agent, and it was just like so much information, like I mean, everything's not like a home. I was like, oh my gosh, home is like a walk in the park now compared to farm.
Well, Jimmy, that's, as an agency owner, when you have your book of business, you decide. If
Right.
you feel that that client would have a better experience by just handing that over to Chris's team and let Monica work on it, that's completely up to you. And you can guide that conversation with your client. They're the ones that have to call customer service and ask for the
Gotcha.
reassignment. And then
Okay.
that would happen. But that's your decision. Completely
Gotcha.
Your decision.
Well, and it doesn't seem like it's hard, but he's going through, a hardship. He wants to lower the deductible and lower his dwelling, and Monica's all, you can't lower that. And I was like, okay, well, it's just stuff that I don't know yet. So, yeah, I'll reach out and
Yeah.
have another conversation with him and see
Yeah.
if he's. And it was funny because his auto was unassigned. It's unassigned, but I'm his farm agent. And I was like, what the heck? And I reached out to Kelly on that too. I was like, how is this unassigned in 2 different ordeals? But yeah, that's what I thought too. And so
Did you get that worked out?
with Kelly, yes, it's in there. So it's like, okay, he wanted to make some changes on his auto, but I couldn't get access because it was unassigned.
Okay. Hopefully she fixed that, but you decide whether, this is the thing that I will tell you guys, and I literally have like 5 minutes left, but you have to make decisions that are, you get to call the shots as a business owner, right? And you have to look at the whole, let me restart my sentence. You have to measure where you're spending your time. All right. So Jimmy, with everything else, you have an assistant right now and everything else that you're trying to do, is it really worth your time to be spending on
No.
that client for
No.
client experience, making sure that they have a great client experience too? Maybe it is worth just getting that off your plate, right? I'm not
Right.
saying to do that, I'm saying you get to decide what you wanna do, but with every decision that you guys make every day, you have to measure is this worth my time, right? And your time is worth a lot, how much per hour, like I'll never forget, I don't think you guys were on yet when I did conversation with a producer with Eric Jansen and Andy Musin. So I think this was last year. But I will never forget our conversation, and Eric kept going back to it. You have to put a dollar amount on per hour that you're worth. And then you have to say, is me spending time doing this worth my per dollar, like my dollar per hour? He kept saying that. And I was like, all right, well, that it's true, right? So, there are things that will take longer, and you have some education. You can take that into consideration too, education on what I'm learning in order to be quicker in the future with some of these opportunities. So I get that, but just like, I think my main thing with all of you is really making sure that you're looking at the structure of your compensation in the future too, because you all have deadlines on, right? I know Jimmy, yours is coming up quicker than the other three with having 12 and a rolling 12 on the grid. For the rest of you, that's coming up, right? When you hit June or December, we're every single month we get closer and closer to that. So those are all things that affect your compensation. And so it's really putting things in place to make sure that you're ready for that and you're getting those things done. And so if you're looking at that and looking at, okay, is it worth doing this home versus spending some time in a live space or splitting that time? Like it's not easy, right? It's not easy to make sure that you are spinning all the plates, right? That you have to spin. The great thing about it is you guys get to decide that. With me keeping you within the guardrails, right? That's how I just define it. You get to do all this within the guardrails and I don't let you fall off the cliff. But I let you know when you're nearing the cliff.
I'm doing a rail slide. Big flip, I'm sliding right now. Good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick back in the light, don't worry about it.
All right. Anything else? You guys good? Start off your Monday? Focus. All right. Well, Skylar, I will see you later this afternoon.
All right.
And most of you, Jimmy, are you coming on Friday? I can't remember.
No, I have some stuff. My wife has a doctor's that I gotta be here for her.
Very good. All right. Well, the rest of you, I will see this week
All right.
in person. All right. Have a great day.
Thank
you.
That